What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and it's official. It is Friday the 13th, hopefully that's not cursed, and Microsoft has officially purchased Activision Blizzard. The deal has gone through as of today to end off the week. If you guys are wondering why the Activision Blizzard stock did come to a halt as of yesterday, it's because the government was preparing for a merger. Now, Activision is officially owned by Xbox. It's happening. Now, it's crazy to think about the fact that we're going to be seeing Activision Blizzard titles pop up on Ubisoft Plus. It's wild. If you guys are wondering how this is going to affect Call of Duty, we'll get into that in a second. But this is a deal that we've been talking about for quite some time, right? This is something we started talking about, I think, towards the end of Cold War's life cycle. A lot of controversy sparked up behind the scenes at Activision. Microsoft then went ahead and tried to acquire Activision for $69 billion. And after months and months of court hearings, interviews, and other controversies, the deal has finally gone through. Now, as I've been talking about, even right when they announced the Activision Blizzard merger, Call of Duty likely won't be affected for a while. We finally have more information as to when it will be affected. It looks like we're not going to be seeing any Call of Duty titles pop up on Xbox Game Pass until next year. And ironically, there is currently a PlayStation exclusivity deal with Call of Duty, which does also come to an end at the end of MW3's life cycle. So it looks like with Black Ops 2024, we're going to be seeing a whole new era for Call of Duty, even beyond the whole new era that has already started with MW2. We're going to be seeing a lot of changes to the franchise that hopefully are for the better. And as they went ahead and said in recent statements, again, always subject to change, so take this with a grain of salt, there will be no more exclusive content on any platform. You guys could be like, oh, well, I don't believe that. New deals will be signed. I mean, hey, it's always possible that a new deal gets signed between Sony and Activision. Who knows? But as of the latest paperwork, it's being said there will be no more exclusive content. Now, if you guys are like, oh, what about an exclusive deal where Xbox gets DLC early or the combat packs or whatnot? I mean, it's possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, but you never know. And on top of that, they mentioned that Call of Duty is going to expand to cloud gaming services. It's apparently going to return to Nintendo platforms, but it'll take some time for those things to take effect, right? I do believe with the release of Black Ops 2024, we're not going to see all these changes come into effect right away at launch. I think at most, we'll start seeing older Call of Duty titles pop up on Game Pass, which is awesome for those out there that already have Game Pass or want an easier way to access older Call of Duty titles. That's going to be great. But in terms of Black Ops 2024 launching day one on Game Pass, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. That will, in fact, change the Call of Duty annual cycle forever, right? No doubt about that. But if you guys are wondering how MW3 is affected by this, I don't think it'll be affected very much, if at all. I mean, there could always be small changes here and there where, you know, certain things release a little bit differently or, you know, marketing maybe has more budget now. It's a little unknown. But looking at how the Bethesda acquisition worked a couple of years ago, Microsoft kind of acquires game studios, steps back, lets them do what they have to do, and then, you know, may provide extra funding or whatever resources the studio needs. But Microsoft didn't really get involved with Bethesda all that much in terms of impacting certain games development and whatnot. I think maybe now with Activision, it might be a little bit different. Maybe they will be a little bit more involved to clean up the work environment and ensure a safe space for all men and women. Hopefully they get involved into that extent. But in terms of the game itself, I don't know if there'll be much change with how Call of Duty operates. But, you know, bringing back other franchises like Guitar Hero, what's another one? You know, Spyro. I mean, there's so many great franchises that Activision owns that have not seen new releases in so many years. So many studios under the Activision umbrella have just been working at Call of Duty. So if Microsoft can go ahead and, you know, allocate resources differently and have some of these studios now work on other games again, that would be phenomenal, and ensuring that Call of Duty doesn't suffer because of that. But, you know, we have a statement here from Phil Spencer. You know, it's a fairly lengthy one for those that want to read it, but the thing is, it was made very clear a couple of days ago, as we reported on Detonated, that Modern Warfare 3 will not be on Game Pass this year. So, like I said, the next Black Ops game could be on Game Pass day one, could be on Game Pass during the holidays, or maybe early 2025. The details are a little unknown, but I know Activision did make a statement a little while back talking about Modern Warfare 3. They're, you know, very happy to see enthusiasm about Call of Duty on Game Pass, but it just won't be happening anytime soon. So I'm cool with that, but it begs the question, right? If you can get a new Call of Duty day one on Game Pass, how does that impact the franchise? Who would really be incentivized to paying 60, 70 bucks for a new COD on PlayStation or their Xbox platform when they could just continue paying their $13 a month subscription for Game Pass to get the new COD right off the rip? You know, I would hope it doesn't impact COD sales or just any game sales all that much to where somebody's like, hey, I'm not going to spend this full $60, $70 on COD. I already have Game Pass. and I'm just gonna try it out that way. Or somebody else could be like, hey, I don't have Game Pass. The new COD's available on Game Pass day one. Let me get a free trial or, a 5-10 day subscription to Game Pass. I played the new COD. I don't like it. I cancel my subscription, and then boom. Would that drastically impact COD sales that way, since people out there aren't paying the full $60, $70 anymore? And if you're on PC, you could also have Xbox Game Pass on your PC. So no real reason to then buy the game in full anymore. So I'm sure they'll figure these things out. Again, I'm just speculating based off of the information we have thus far, but we don't have full information on exactly how all this is going to work. But I would love to see a lot of older COD titles on Game Pass. I mean, we talk about a lot of old COD titles, having broken servers and hackers flooding through the multiplayers. I would love to see a lot of older CODs enhanced slightly graphic-wise for Game Pass, and then maybe seeing the servers cleaned up a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to be perfect and they're going to remove all the hackers off of the older titles, but to see a slight improvement to all of our legacy games in the Call of Duty series and then have those on Game Pass, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I would love to see that. But again, it might be until late 2024, early 2025 when we start seeing nearly every title available on this subscription, and then we'll have to wait and see how it'll work with a new Call of Duty dropping day one on Game Pass, because that will change things forever regardless, right? And it was cool to see that they went ahead and announced this today. We have a lot of really excited developers and media managers over at Microsoft, Xbox, Call of Duty, Activision, all expressing their love for each of these companies and the excitement that they have to then work together essentially under the Team Xbox umbrella. Now, I get it, business is business, but I think enough is enough with the exclusivity deals. I mean, Xbox had a deal for, 6, 7, 8 years maybe. PlayStation then got that with Black Ops 3 in 2015, and they've had the deal ever since. And it went from map packs being available a month early on PlayStation to then a week early. And then, all right, no more map pack exclusivity. Now it's just these combat packs. And it gets to a point where it's like, what's really the point of doing deals like this? Let's just drop it, right? Whether it's getting extra creative class slots or extra tiers in a battle pass bundle or exclusive operator access, like it's to a point where that's such an outdated model. Let's move on from that. Xbox had the deal for a while. PlayStation had it for even longer. It's time to move on. I think people out there are tired of it, and we wouldn't want to get to a point where we see, game modes locked behind console exclusivity like we saw with Survival and Modern Warfare 19, Onslaught and Cold War Zombies. Let's move on from that, and let's have everything released at the same time for every platform. I've moved to PC as of a year ago, so now I'm like, all right, I feel it even more now. The model is outdated, even though I was on both consoles essentially for a number of years. Now, Bobby Kotick is set to stay as CEO of Activision until the very end of 2023 and will be receiving a $400 million payout for his departure and because of this deal going through. So take that as you may, but there will be a lot of leadership changes behind the scenes as we move forward. We had an article go up back during July talking about Xbox owning a Call of Duty and what could possibly change, right? And as we also tweeted out, this could be in the 2024 Call of Duty title. Crossovers of this nature through bundles or through in-game challenges, being able to see Steve from Minecraft or Master Chief from Halo, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. I mean, anything to do with Fallout. I mean, it's crazy to think about the possibility now because the crossovers did get pretty wild throughout MW2's life cycle, seeing more and more licensed operators. We got a full licensed battle pass with Season 6, Spawn becoming an operator. That is absolutely insane, and that can only get greater with the next couple of years because of the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Now, the last thing I'll mention is a very interesting statement that was made during one of the court hearings a couple of months ago in regards to COD Mobile being phased out for Warzone Mobile. I will say, I asked some Warzone Mobile developers behind the scenes at COD Next if this was true, and they don't believe that it is. Again, anything is subject to change. Things could have been said on paper many months ago or as of today, and those things could change in the next few months, the next few years. But with Warzone Mobile being developed in-house, not being outsourced to China, I wouldn't be shocked if COD Mobile got phased out. But at the same time, play devil's advocate, COD Mobile is very successful. It appeals to the Chinese market, and it's just a massive title, right? Even though it's not integrated with MW2, 3, or the current iteration of Warzone like Warzone Mobile is, COD Mobile is still massive in and of itself. So I don't think they're going to phase it out, but at the same time, I almost wouldn't be shocked if it did at some point soon. But as of now, with the info that I heard behind the scenes at COD Next, both COD Mobile and Warzone Mobile will coexist. But Microsoft has a lot of interest in expanding into the mobile market and doing more with the mobile market. And what do you know? Call of Duty has just kind of broken into the mobile market as of a couple of years ago, and is trying to get even deeper into the market with Warzone now. So there's a lot to look forward to, chat. So much going on here with Activision Blizzard joining Xbox. So many titles, all part of the same library now. It's crazy, but that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on a statement here from Phil Spencer? You guys can go ahead and read it right now on the Xbox website. How you're feeling about what could be a very different future for Call of Duty because of this, plus everything else we discussed. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.